Hello everyone, welcome on back to Survival Challenge. Alright, so first things first. We have a couple things to sell this month. Nothing too insane, but a couple of things. So we'll likely be selling the rest of the silage. Yeah, I could probably get 5 grand more later. Not the end of the world. 5 grand is not that much. And we'll probably sell the milk. It's about max price, so. And then sunflowers will be sold today, but I'll probably sell them towards the end. I think that's what I'm kind of thinking there. Since those still show they're going up, the silage and the milk show they're starting to go down. And the cows are officially out of food. Last I checked, the sheep had 10,000 liters. We got a couple more months. Well, probably next month they'll be out. Not that much. Chickens still have a decent amount left. Yeah, 15,000 liters. So the chickens have been going on for a while. Really, productions are, for the most part, out. This has, a decent amount extra, but that'll be ran through in a full year's time. Once we actually go to sell it, really. This should be out soon. Only 2,000 liters of wood left. This is just going to be going until we decide to shut this off, basically. That's kind of where we're going to be at there. Because it takes so long to actually run out the olive tree that it's probably just going to be one of those things that we just have to decide, all right, we'll turn it off now. This is the end for that. I think more than likely it'll run out of water if we wait a full year. If we do it next year time, which will be like May of next year time in game, then we would probably be out. Because then we would have the olive oil would be at a good price. We would probably be out of water. Only 4,000 liters, so I don't think we'd be out of anything else. Now I got this here ready because we do have that field there for harvest. It is the final harvest that we have to do. Then the next video will just be the finale. We'll be selling everything in all the productions, any remaining things that we have. Any sort of equipment that we may still have. I don't think we have a ton. A lot of it I have already kind of sold off if we didn't have a use for it. 'Cause like I've said before, the money is not in the equipment for us. A lot of the stuff I did buy used, so it's not going to be a thing where we make all of the money when we sell the equipment. There might be a decent amount of money coming back for like the cotton harvester, maybe the harvester. I'm not sure on that one. The harvester's pretty old at this point. We've had it a while. Now, of course, if I'm correct, I think this video will go up on the release of 25. So, it's not too bad a timing. Like I've mentioned before, my 25 stuff will be a little bit late. I'm hoping, if all goes well, the weekend after the launch, I can hopefully get to work on stuff. That's the hope. I can hopefully have something up that weekend. Maybe earlier, it kind of just, I think that weekend is probably the solid of, the higher chance of me getting it up. Is this one? There we go. Not a ton of money into the silage now, I don't think. I remember Heck, when was it? We mowed... I think we mowed this section of land. And we turned it into silage bales. I seem to remember us getting like a peak price for the bales. It was like $900 a 1,000 liters. It was way above anything I've seen before for silage. I've normally seen that $650 price, maybe $700. All right, here we are. One last load of silage. Then we'll go and get the milk sold too, because that showed it was on the decline. That's only what, yeah, 36,000 for that. All right, there we go. That's what, $34,500. Not too bad, not too bad. We're at $4.8 million right now. Can't complain. Obviously, there's a ton left. There's a ton left to be sold. I have been holding off a little bit, so. All right, so we'll have to sell it with the Massey this time, the milk. I have the John Deere a little tied up over there. Shouldn't be too big of a deal, though. Trying to think if I should sell this tanker. It's not a ton of money, but I'm not sure if we have a use for it anymore. I can't think of anything. After milk, I wouldn't think so. And chickens don't use water. The sheep will easily be out of food before they are water. And I think the olive tree will just keep it as how it is now, and once it runs out of water, it's out, you know. Because otherwise, you know, like I've said before, we'd be here for ages waiting on, you know, the seeds and the fertilizer to run out. You don't use a ton of those. Use 1 liter every cycle, and it's 48 cycles. It takes 2 months to almost run 100 liters. Like, we'd be here a really long time. I think the water would be a good stopping point. Well, actually, we should probably sell the cows, too. I don't want them, you know, sitting here without water or food for too long. That just seems a little bit not nice. So we'll just go ahead and get these sold. Alright, there we go. We got them all sold. So I think we got like 30 grand from that. Yeah, they're out of water as well. So they must have ran out of food overnight and they just kept, obviously, drinking water. I'm pretty sure the sheep have far plenty water, so I'm not too concerned about that. Yeah, 29,000 liters to 10,500 liters of food. The food's gonna be out probably overnight. Yeah, we'll head up to the store with this. It's possible next month or the month after we may be selling cotton. I haven't quite decided on the months I'm gonna, you know, choose to be the months I sell stuff in. Right now I'm thinking obviously June for soybeans. And we'll probably have a March, April for clothing. Those are the guarantees. I'll see if anything else, you know, aligns way out of that, or, you know, as long as everything's at a fairly good price around that time. If I remember right, cotton shows it's like May. The eggs are probably the outlier, and that's going to be like a November thing. And of course, if we have to wait an extra a little while for the olive tree to run out of water, then I guess we probably have to go back through to what, May or whatever for that. Nothing insane here. Probably like $40,000 if I had a guess with the environmental bonus. Yeah, I'm pretty close. Alright, so we'll go and get this sold. Just the tanker. We might need the Massey for something, I'm not sure yet. I'd rather play it safe with that, so we'll repaint, repair. 3.5 grand on that, so not too bad. Of course, I guess we might need it for loading stuff up. Because, you know, the telehandler there is only for store use, so I can't bring it to the farm just to load stuff up for. It's the only reason it's there. It shows it's owned by us just because I had to make it that way. That way we actually have it at the store for, well, mainly seed bags and stuff. Obviously we have a bulk buying point now, so we don't do that anymore, but it's nice when you need it. You don't have to have a tractor with a front loader right from the beginning. If I remember right, I think one of the first times we bought seeds and fertilizer, we didn't have our front loader, so we loaded it up at the store, and then we went home and I just unstrapped it and started driving in circles and trying to get the bags to fall off. Oh, it's good times. Good times. We'll park this over here by the shed. Yeah, we'll still have plenty to be sold. Off camera, I'll try to get a bunch up at the store. Like, you know, cotton harvester, the main harvester there, the John Deere harvester. Both of the headers, header trailer. It's really the finale. Oh, we have the plow here. That could have been sold a while ago. That can be sold ages ago at this point. We haven't plowed up a field in quite some time. Alright, so we'll get going here. Lowered and on. This is, of course, our large soybean field. I think in reality it's actually about the same size as the one down there. It doesn't look like it, but it's actually pretty close. This is more of a single piece, and while this is a long stretch. Just from what I've noticed, they take about the same amount of time to harvest. I get about the same amount of yield from them. This does have a slightly worse soil. I'm sure that obviously affects it a decent amount. But still, it's been fairly even. Which is kind of surprising. Kind of thought this would be, you know, a huge, great yielder for us. Hasn't been bad by any means. You know, we should be in, well, we might be in this stretch of the new land. I just wanted to check. Okay, this is still 100 and this is still 99. We've actually went up from 95 to 96. 14% for the bonus right now. I feel like the sunflowers have gone down. I might be wrong. It's too late to change the plan now, though. We have everything out here ready to be sold, so we'll have to sell it at the end. Price shouldn't change that much by the end. It's not like it's, you know, soybeans or something like that where I'm gonna try to wait and get the best possible price and monitor it as much as I can. Make sure it's not dropping. You know, $600,000 of soybeans is different than $60,000 of sunflowers. That little bit makes a far larger difference. Now, I do want to ask, just as a future thought more than anything, mainly for these big fields. When I do the time lapse, would people want it split up? Split between the same video, but we'll do half earlier than half later, or do you just want 3 minutes of one harvest? I'm just curious if there's any preference there. It's either going to be 3 minutes of a harvest or 2.5 minute sections split up in that same video. Just for future reference. I'm sure it's going to be a while in 25 until we get a large field like this. But, eventually we'll have times when we have some really large fields to do. And I think just to be safe, I'll unload it. The last thing I want to have happen is for us to get full when we're almost the full lap around. Yeah, it's just as a feature thing for me. Just in case there's a preference there. Alright. Well, I'll go ahead and probably start the time lapse for this. So I'll check to everyone once the time lapse is done. right, here we are on the last strip for the soybeans. The last harvest of 22. It's not just the last harvest of Survival Challenge, it's the last one of Farming Sim 22 altogether. It's been a fun time though. It's been a fun time. We'll get this unloaded into probably the semi. Then I'll grab the John Deere and that trailer. We'll have that unloaded into the silo first. And then I'll have the semi unload. And then we can just pick up the sunflowers right away. And we get those sold. I haven't checked the price, obviously, in a little while. So I'm not sure if it's looking good, looking lower now. You can check that while this is unloading. There we have it. Whole field is done. Sunflowers. It has most definitely gone down. I think it was 2,590, I think, a little while ago. So it definitely has gone down. So let's hop over to the John Deere here. It's at almost 30,000 liters. Not too bad for this. I'm not going to sell this trailer yet. What I'll likely do is when I go to sell it, I'll have it, you know, bring a load of something down to be sold. Maybe soybeans, maybe. Really, I think that's the only crop that we have to sell during the mass sell. Can't think of anything else, because when we went through, you know, December time, the winter time, we sold most of like the oats, sorghum, barley. So we'll probably just, you know, load it up with soybeans and then bring it down to sell that and sell the trailer at the same time when we do that. Of course, in between, I'll get, you know, a bunch of the stuff that we have in the yard, the weights, the, you know, probably the Massey. The John Deere will be sold towards the end, maybe. The plow, we gotta get the plow down there. The headers, harvesters, I'll get all that stuff down to the store so we can get those stuff sold. Alright, we should probably get the combine turned off. And I'm going to check the environmental. 96 still, so it's still solid. Oh, that was already on. Just 37,000 liters. So we're talking, what, 67,000 liters from this field? I think we normally get about 65,000 out of the other field. Like, I think size-wise, this field probably is slightly bigger. But that just has a lot more loam in it. Kind of offsets it. It also has a large piece of silty clay. That probably lowers it back to a more normal level. We'll get this put in and then we'll have a fairly good guesstimate on soybeans. That'll be to sell. There's going to be a lot of loads. That's pretty obvious. Can't even do what I did on Alma. On Alma, I brought a bunch of stuff down to the train silo. And then I was able to just sell everything on the train. You know, it's probably 3 loads on the train. You know, multiple different crops and stuff. I can't do that with this. So we're probably going to have not as many loads as we did there. But we're still going to have a ton of loads. And we're not going to have the ability to do that. So right now at max price, we were talking $781,000. Like I've said before, I haven't seen $4,000 before on the max price. It's usually like 3,800, maybe 3,900. So we probably won't quite see that. It is 194,000 liters. So that'll be 4 trailer loads. So not too bad. Yeah, that's the only crop. Yeah. The only crop that we have to sell. It'll likely be one of the first things sold. I think our first pit stop month will likely be June. I think it kind of just makes sense out of all the months. So we're not going to have all the clothing done next month. I don't want to sell it in multiple batches. I want to make sure, when we're going to sell it, we're going to sell everything. Olive oil, that's going to be a little while until all the olives are done. So I think that might be May. But likely will be soybeans. And we'll probably see on cotton. Kind of see when that's at a good price to be sold. Staircase railings I'm not too concerned about. They seem to be a fairly good price most of the time. So we can kind of sell it whenever. I'll try to sell it obviously at better peak prices, but yeah, probably off camera I'll try to get maybe the flatbed that we currently have. Maybe I'll get cotton bales on that. And I might get a flatbed for the semi, which I probably will. I can load up a bunch of clothing and staircase railings, that kind of stuff on it. Then, whenever we want, we can sell that then. I don't think it's going to take too long to sell everything, but I've said that before. It ends up being, quite a long video. So we will see when that time comes, which should be really soon. We're practically there. We have one more video to be recorded in 22, and that's the finale for this. After that, we'll be moving strictly on to 25 stuff. Like I said, my stuff will be a little bit, behind, but I'm hoping to get stuff up the weekend after launch. It's like the launch day is like a Tuesday. I'm hoping maybe that following weekend I can get something up. That's the hope. We'll see. Maybe I can get it a little earlier. Maybe it's a little later. We'll see. Obviously, it's tough to predict the future. If we could all predict the future, we'd be. Heck, I think that'd be quite awesome, honestly. Start predicting the future on the lottery and stuff. Granted, then everyone would win if everyone could. I don't know if that really would help anybody. Well, that is about everything for today. Thank you everyone for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you in the next video. Bye.